Oh, what is that? Is that a green bubble? What a loser! Hello. That used to be me. Millions of people suffer from green bubble bullying each year. No longer. It is time to stand up to bullies that bully the green bubble people, even if they're bad people, and use Samsungs. Ah yes, only a month or so after Apple officially killed off the Lightning connector and fully swap-a-rooed into USB-C, we now have RCS support coming to iPhone in 2024. What is happening? And for those of you asking why or how this could possibly be happening, well, for the same reason we got USB-C on iPhone. The EU. They have been pushing for this, and before it gets ugly, Apple has decided, okay, fine, whatever. And coincidentally, we just uploaded a video, or like a documentary, about this exact thing. We made a whole video detailing how this could be the end of Apple, how the EU could slowly pick them apart and pull them away from their original DNA. In that video, we called it a slippery slope. We have been calling it a slippery slope, so welcome to that. Welcome to the slope. It is slippery, and take your shoes off. No shoes allowed. Anyhow, a spokesperson from Apple, like this is coming from Apple specifically, confirmation from them directly. Here's a statement from them to the folks over at 9to5Mac. Later next year, we will be adding support for RCS Universal Profile. Take that part, put it on a piece of paper, fold it up, put it in your pocket, save it for later. That's going to be very important here in a little bit. We'll be adding support for RCS Universal Profile, the standard as currently published by the GSM Association. We believe RCS Universal Profile will offer a better interoperability experience when compared to SMS or MMS. This will work alongside iMessage, which will continue to be the best and most secure messaging experience for Apple users. And for those of you who are watching right now, like, huh? What? RCS? What that? I don't even know where I am right now. I can help you with two of those problems. RCS, Rich Communication Services, is essentially the evolution of standard text messaging that all of them Android folk have had access to for a few years now. SMS, MMS, they've been around for a super long time, they're super outdated, and it's time to move on. Android has just moved on a bit faster than the rest of us. RCS is an overall better standard for text messaging. It just is that way, and Apple hasn't given a single shit about it in implementing it because, well, it's not iMessage, and therefore not for iPhone people. So, Apple has been way ahead of the curve here, not using SMS or MMS when talking iPhone to iPhone, obviously. iMessage being their own proprietary platform allows for end-to-end encryption. You can share high-quality videos and images much better than you could ever with SMS and MMS. Android has been using RCS for a few years now to try to play catch-up to that, trying to give Android users a similar experience to that you would get through iMessage. The problem is, well, Apple doesn't care if you have RCS or not, because it's still, when you send a message from an Android phone to an iPhone, it's still going to come in through SMS or MMS. That's where the green bubbles come in. It's still... Apple don't play nice like that. And why would they? 87% of teenagers right now are using iPhone, specifically for things like iMessage, for exclusive features like iMessage. And what's going to happen when those 87% of teenagers grow up? They're still going to be using iPhone, and yeah, I mean, you can probably tell where this is going. Android manufacturers, as well as Google themselves, have been pushing, specifically the EU, to force this upon Apple so that things work better together. Though RCS is already great from Android to Android device, Apple bringing RCS to iPhone will majorly improve communications between iPhone and everyone else. And though on the surface it looks here like Apple is caving into those demands and giving everybody RCS on iPhone, making better interoperability, there's conversations about, oh, does that mean green bubbles are going away? That there's not going to be that weird exclusivity arguments going back and forth between blue bubble, green bubble? Though Apple is caving, they're being very clever about how they implement this. Remember that piece of paper I told you to fold up, put in your pocket, and save for later? Yeah, it's time to take that out. Let's talk about this right here, specifically in Apple's wording in their statement to 9to5Mac. They specifically referenced RCS Universal Profile. And though that version of RCS supports things like, you know, better images and videos coming through, no real character limits, being able to tell if a message was delivered or not, it does offer better compatibility back and forth, but specifically that version of RCS that they're implementing into iOS 18 next year, that Universal Profile does not support end-to-end encryption, like iMessage. So even though it vaguely appears like Apple is complying here and making RCS available on iPhone, it's not going to come with the same level of encryption and data security as iMessage. And that is very sneaky and a big old bummer. Now, you might be asking, okay, what about blue bubble, green bubble? We still gonna have those? The answer to that is yes, of course. Why would Apple ever give up the blue bubble, green bubble thing ever in the history of everness? Is what I would say normally anyway, as it is, even if Apple hadn't said anything, but Apple did say something. They said something, and that is green bubbles are gonna stay. This is yet another thing Apple confirmed directly to 9to5Mac, saying that blue bubbles will still be used to represent iMessages, while green bubbles will be there to represent RCS messages. So for the average casual user, the average iPhone user, to them, there's gonna be no difference. They're not gonna know anything happened on the back end. So for the EU, for Android, congratulations. I guess you got them again, but it seems they found a little bit of a loophole. Okay, you ready now for my hot take, the Jern hot take of the day? I think this decision to add RCS to iPhone is, drumroll please, a good thing. Yeah, just like with USB-C, this kinda hurts nobody and benefits everybody. It's a very pro-consumer move. I am very happy to have USB-C on my iPhone 15 Pro. Very happy about that. I'll be happy that RCS support is coming to iPhone. That's all great. These are things that, at the end of the day, I am happy about. I'm just not happy about how we got there. Every time, man. Just like USB-C, this happened because of massive pressure from the EU. This is all happening just as predicted, just as I've been trying to tell you, and that is why and where the slippery slope comes into play. Because these changes made to Apple in response to outside pressure will inevitably end up negatively affecting Apple and iPhone users eventually. Though, right now, at least for today, this slippery slope is kind of comfy, so permission to enjoy the slipperiness. Okay, I gotta go to a sponsor break real quick, but after that, we're gonna talk about the real true person, the true one entity responsible for forcing Apple to make this change. You think it's the EU? No, no, no. There's someone secretly pulling all the strings in the background, and I will reveal his name after the break. Why, hello there, my fellow dudes. The holidays are here, and there's no better way to end No Shave November than with one of these, a razor from Harry's Razors. Giving gifts makes you look good, but gifting this Harry's starter set will make them look good, too. Get you and your friends out of the razor aisle at the store and into a luxurious shaving experience by the one-stop shop for all men's grooming needs, Harry's. This starter kit includes a 5-blade, German-engineered razor with a weighted handle, giving it an ultra-premium feel. It also comes with this super comfy foaming gel and travel cover. I promise you, once you use one of these bad boys, you will never go back. Speaking of never going back, Harry's, you really outdid yourselves with this one. Look at this limited edition all-black gift set with this matte black craft handle with dotted rubber grip that looks like Batman himself uses it to shave this part of his Batman face. And your boy relies on Harry's too. How do you think I keep this neckline so pristine? So use our link in the description to get your hands on a Harry's starter set for just $5 instead of the normal $13. That's right, get a high-quality shaving experience shipped right to your door and get that confidence-inspiring shave today. And of course, a huge thanks to Harry's for sponsoring this episode of Fapata. Alright, welcome back. So this is the part of the show where we are going to highlight some, how do I say this delicately? Some really stupid stuff. And it's fine to point and laugh at this person because this person is Carl Pei, the CEO of Nothing, and he's rich, which makes this okay to laugh at him. So Nothing, the smartphone company that makes fancy lights and also smartphones, has basically come out and offered iMessage on the Nothing Phone 2 through Nothing Chats. Now hang with me because this is all going to tie back together quite beautifully, if I may say. I'm not going to go through an entire technical breakdown here, but essentially Nothing Chats will make it possible to sign in with your Apple ID, which then throws your credentials onto some Mac Mini in a server farm somewhere, and then routes everything back to you and Shazam! iMessage on Android. Right now, obviously, currently in the early stages, Nothing Chats is in beta, and okay, whatever. if there aren't major red flags, if you don't hear the alarm bells ringing in your head area, I don't know what to tell you. This service, Nothing Chats, works in cooperation with another service called Sunbird. They're the ones who are doing all the heavy lifting in the background. So let me reiterate here. You need to trust this completely separate company, Sunbird, with your entire Apple ID for this feature to work on the Nothing phone too. Like, well, think about all the information on your Apple ID. Think of all your stuff in iCloud. Think of everything. This is like giving your Apple ID to a hobo and then trusting him to run over to some fucking rinky-dink Mac Mini somewhere, type in your message, wait for someone to send it back, and then he runs back to you and tells you what the person said. Is that really iMessage? Would you give your Apple ID to a hobo? I don't think so. Everything from your Apple Pay information, contacts, iMessages. If someone with bad intentions goes into my iCloud account, I'm pretty sure my life is over. It would be a complete disaster. This is the opposite of end-to-end encryption, all right? This is end-to-end encryption if end-to-end encryption was like the human centipede, you know? If you do this, everyone is eating your shit. And yeah, okay, I did kind of say we should point and make fun of this terrible idea and Carl Pei, sure, but I get it, man. You're just trying to break into the US smartphone market, and it's rough out there with all the Gen Zers dunking on Android. I understand. But man, this is just really, really all the way not a good look. Now, something that we can 100% make fun of Carl for is this tweet right here. Now, hang on, let me add some context. This whole Nothing Chats iMessage thing happened a few days ago, right? Like, 2 days before Apple announced RCS coming to iPhone. Are you following so far? Okay. And because Apple announced RCS support 2 days after Nothing did that thing they did, Carl Pei tweeted this entire Steve Jobs quote and how he's changing the world. And oh man, he's making a mark upon life, and wow, so brave, Carl. Congratulations, you did it. Wow, good job, man. Look at the bravery here. The minute that you understand that you can poke life, and actually something will, you know, if you push in, something will pop out the other side, that you can change it, you can mold it, that's maybe the most important thing, is to shake off this erroneous notion that life is there and you're just gonna live in it, versus embrace it, change it, improve it, make your mark upon it. Steve Jobs and Carl. See, I can't even. Oh my God! Look what you did. You made Quinn Nelson from Snazzy Labs, the nicest dude on the planet, come out and make fun of you. And listen, Carl follows me on Twitter. We follow each other. We're cool. Well, I mean, we were until he sees this. Calm down, Captain Planet. All right, Carl. You are not that guy, pal. You are not that guy. The RCS thing was in the works and obviously has everything to do with the EU and nothing to do with some dude making tens of phones named Carl. And for real, do not toss your Apple ID credentials to anything or anyone that hasn't been personally fondled by Tim Cook himself. If you do that, he will find out. And he will find you.